let's do some drawing. So, this is a very optimistic 200 subscriber special video. I was thinking, I don't know, maybe in post-production or something, we go over a special circumstance, maybe like if I say a word very often or something within the video, every time I do, I then draw another image afterwards of, well, every time I say a certain word. I'm thinking because I watched over a video the other day and never realized how many times I throw that out. So maybe that would be kind of fun as well, just to have that, you know, almost like almost a penalty. And every time I say a word like that, it means I have to draw another frog, badly drawn, of course, you know, as per. Not that I'm trying to draw them badly, I just really crap at drawing frogs. I still enjoy drawing them. Yeah, so let me know in the comments what you think. If that's something that would be kind of funny, then I'm up for doing that. Oh no, hopefully it's not the ums, because I've already said like 15 of them. It's been about 7 seconds of video. Yeah, we could do something like that. Or every time I do the doobie-doos, or any sort of little sound as I'm processing slowly, maybe that would be a fun one too. I was also thinking instead of frogs, I could draw each one as a sort of a fantasy archetype. I think the idea of little frog, swashbuckler, rogue, or cleric. Imagine a cleric frog. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I've been looking forward to drawing Titus for probably about a week now. I just have a little bit of time today, so I thought, gotta be done, isn't it? I think maybe it's because I've been watching a lot of Delicious in Dungeon, and Senshi, I think, is my favorite character. He's just wonderfully interesting, deep, and bizarre individual, and also a dwarf. So yeah, maybe that's why I'm excited to do this one today. So yeah, I was gonna try and make him as interesting and, well, just fun to draw as possible, really. Which I don't think you can get it wrong if you're drawing a dwarf, because they are oversized and just everything about them is chunky and interesting. So yeah, I don't think we'll have any problems with that. Since the last time I did go back over a few little details with Morgana, I just added some more textures in the inside of her coat. I did everyone with an outline as well, so I feel like it pops a little bit more. Yeah, I think so anyway. We're going to leave a little bit of space here to see how Morgana's coat sort of interacts with Titus. And then over here, we got our final character, Shay, still being worked on, still trying to figure out how to do her justice, because she's also a great character. So yeah, we'll see how we do. But I need to remember to keep sketchy, otherwise I start to worry about getting it just right, and it's not the idea of these drawings. You know, it doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be nice to draw. Right, okay, so a bit of visor there. Visor? No, it's not what I'm talking about. Like, sort of like he's a sort of a tinkerer. I always forget the type of class Titus is, but he's the one that makes all the stuff, the potions and things of that nature. What is it called? Can't remember. It's got a little hole in his ear that I've just decided I'll draw in, probably from a sort of a semi-failed experiment. Well, I suppose it could be a successful experiment if he was trying to lose a part of his ear. Yeah, I'll go with that. Never really sure how to draw ears. I just kind of make them up every time. But I think that's part of the fun of them, because whatever you do kind of feels right in a weird way. So he's got his beard, just have that hair sort of wrapping around here. Yeah, nice. Do a couple of little hairs up here. He has to shave really high up on his face. So maybe there's a few little bits. A few little hairs on his nose. I think he's an older chap. But if you've heard me talk about Titus before, he's essentially what I personally think the DM's favourite character to play. And originally I was going to have the DM in the background, with a book and flipping some dice, but it didn't feel quite right. I feel like Titus is the DM's character, so that's why I wanted to do this instead. So I thought I'd put a bit more heart and soul into Titus' character, because that's, whenever we see Titus, it's just, I feel that's the DM playing their character with us, which is quite cool. So he's wearing a sort of thick leather waistcoat. You see here it has all his tools and bits and pieces on it as well. This is when, colouring would be so useful, but as I said before, my colouring ability is limited. Though, someone does select me the colours, I can do an alright job digitally. But lately I've just been enjoying so much doing traditional art making. I think it's more me. I'm not sure what to give him a little ponytail there. Yeah, I will actually. We'll make it messy though as well, because, even though he wasn't technically in the fight with us because he was incarcerated for something he didn't do, I still feel like in spirit he was there. So this is maybe alternative sort of story, I guess, in my head. And that will disappear there. We've got lots to remember, and unfortunately I've drawn a lot of the sketch very lightly, so I need to kind of remember where I'm at throughout, so I don't accidentally draw over a section that I shouldn't have. I'll draw another little plait here. Not a big one, just a little, maybe a little bead or something there. Another little thingy, and yeah. I do like drawing hair. I think it's just relaxing. You can kind of do whatever you want, just play around. Move the paper a little bit so I can see what I'm doing easier. Yeah. I've noticed in the videos I always complaining that the paper is in a weird angle, and I thought I just move it. I guess I kind of got stuck on the idea that the drawing shouldn't be moving. It should stay static, and I thought, well, that's kind of just making it more difficult for myself and less enjoyable. So with that, I thought I'll just move it as I go along. I give him a little top knot. Wow. Top knot. Ridiculous. Yeah, we'll give it a little. I won't say it again. No, I will. Top knot. I promise I can speak fairly eloquently, usually. That's a lie. But I normally can speak a little bit better than I do in these videos. I think I'm still getting to the point of learning how to, talk and draw at the same time. Because it is quite an art. And I find myself, because I'm sort of figuring out how things will look, as I'm going. I've got the sketch, but it's kind of just a guideline, and I like to work as I go. Work doesn't feel like work. It feels like a very nice thing to do. Maybe one day this should be my work. There's a goal of mine. Get to the point where I can draw little adventurers and sci-fi people for a job. Sounds pretty good to me. Maybe one day. Right, I'm doing all right. So yeah, quite rough hair. A few little bits. Little. I feel like these little marks will probably be soot or something else. Bit of dirt maybe. Actually, it was really cool. When we actually went and rescued Titus from the jail, because of the drawing I did previously the other week, I gave him a little top knot. Hey, he said it first time. And the DM saw the video and actually put it in the story. So the next time we saw Titus, when he came out of the jail, he had a top knot. Which, little things like that, little things like that make all the difference when you're playing D&D. I think that's just goes to show how I think a fantastic storyteller does their piece, and that's incorporating everything you bring into your characters, into the world, not just following their story. Yeah, that's just me anyway. Right, so I need to figure out how to get this arm right. I probably should do this side and then move to this side. Yeah, because I don't want to smudge it. I feel like I'm already smudging it. No, I'm okay. Right. So we do his shoulder. And that'll be like that. I find cloth sometimes really hard to kind of just get right. That's probably because I don't know what I'm doing. You have to get that right amount of movement with the fabric, but also I really like that sort of comic, not perfect, not, true look to it. I still want it to look like a drawing and not perfect. Not that I can draw perfect by any means or super hyper realistic. I'm still working on my style every day. But yeah. What was I rambling now? I don't know. Anyway, something. Just pretend I said something really useful and interesting there. Just edit something in, surely. Right, there's his bicep. He's a tinkerer. God, what is it called? I'm an alchemist. It's something like that. Hopefully I'll remember it by the end of the video. And he hasn't got his sleeves rolled up or anything. He's just, it's sort of a elongated shirt. Like a short shirt. Mid shirt. Yeah, that's what it is. It's a mid shirt. Not sure if that's a real thing. Right. I'm going to put a little bit more something here, but maybe like a little thing like that. I think this is something I picked up years ago. I was looking at, I think it was a Tomb Raider comic, and they had these little points of interest, and I think a lot of the time it was just where they put the highlight for the drawing, and I've always liked them. I just feel like it takes up a bit of that negative space, and I've always done it since. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Just taking up some negative space. And more crease marks here. A little bit of lines. Need to stop worrying about getting it just right, because I think I start overthinking it and then so it loses a little bit, I think. There we go. And he's going to have lots of little smudges here. He's just got out of jail. He's probably had a few scraps and, a few interesting talks. Right, how should we do the arm hair? We could just do lines like we did on, oh no, what's your name? Kevin. We could do similar to Kevin. Or we could do almost like fur. Maybe like fur would be more interesting. Yeah, let's do that. Hopefully this turns out okay. Yeah, that's not too bad. Not sure if that was the right choice, but it doesn't feel like the absolute wrong choice. Which is lucky because we're using pens, we can't do anything now anyway. Okay, and lots of hairs. There we go. Lots of hairs on the back of his hand. Nice. Maybe I should have just done normal lines, because he looks kind of like a beast creature now, doesn't he? That's fine. Maybe he needs to shave his arms. Maybe that's what he does. And didn't get a chance to do it in jail. There we go. The crease there, and again, doesn't need to be perfect. Not gonna be. Cool. So he's got a ring on this finger. I don't know if he even has a ring in the campaign itself, but maybe he does. Best thing about drawing dwarves is that they're so chunky, and I've been finding myself drawing very thick fingers and trying to get it just right and doing weird things in terms of sizing. But with dwarves, because they're so big and chunky, you can kind of get away with big, stocky fingers, which is good. I think that looks alright. What do you think? And I mean, it's alright, isn't it? It's not quite how I envisioned it, but you know what? I think that'll be just fine with me. So like I said at the start, before I digressed and rambled about whatever I did, this is, in a sense, the 200 subscriber special for the channel. And I just wanted to say the biggest thank you to everyone that has been supporting the channel and just being incredibly kind, lovely comments, great suggestions, fantastic suggestions, and just basically all your support. Always feel free to give a message and have a chat. Quite like that. Sometimes I worry about not sure what to say back, to lovely comments or suggestions. I sort of, oh yeah, I kind of want to have a little natter as well, but I think, but is it better not to start just chatting away, or is it better just to have a bit of a chat and see how everyone's doing? So yeah, any of you out there brave enough to just message, keep doing it. Right, what we'll do is we'll start outlining now as well. this is normally where I make mistakes. Which I'm not sure why. Maybe it's the light ever so slightly off in this room, because I feel like sometimes I just can't quite see lines. Might be just me, my depth perception though. Actually, I should have done this after removing the pencil, really, shouldn't I? Ah, I'll be fine. So how was everyone today? I did it again. Everyone having a good Thursday, or whatever day it is that you watch this video. I'll be having a good day. I wonder what his favourite food to eat is. Again, I'm stuck in delicious in dungeon mode. I really like that program. The only issue is it always makes me hungry. You know, not for monsters or anything. Not really into that, but I do think afterwards, oh, really fancy eggs. Eggs and soldiers. Right, what I'll do is I'll leave the rest of it open. Oh, and I need to finish off Morgana's leg. Perfect. And Titus is kind of looking over to Kevin. Probably more of a surprised look on than anything. More so probably like, how are you still alive? How did you make it this far? You know. Titus has got I think he's from Scottish descent. So I'm just gonna have some of my coffee. My throat's sore. Apologies for sloping. So he's got this wonderful, thick Scottish accent, and just fantastic way about him. You know, he sees problems as something to solve, another thing to fix, and I guess that's him as a character, and I guess that sort of, in a way, parallels how the DM is with us. You know, every time we throw some crazy idea out or some silliness, the DM's always thinking, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, we could do that. How should we do that then? You know, I guess that kind of reflects in how Titus is. You know, because every time that there's a bad situation, I feel like Titus is always there to sort of help us, pull us out, you know. One thing I hate drawing is cut wood. So anything that's kind of like chairs, tables, that's either perfectly circular or straight. I always find myself kind of switching off a little bit as I'm drawing it, because I just don't really find it that interesting. So I'm always trying to find ways to, make it a bit more interesting to look at and draw. I haven't quite found anything yet, so if you have any suggestions, please leave a comment. I wonder if I could do little triangles, for where the wood's kind of poking in, or don't know. I'll come back to that one. Maybe I'll think of something by the time we come back to it. Maybe not. Probably forget what I was thinking or doing and do something else anyway, so that is fine too. Right, so here we've got let's move this up a little bit. There we go. We've got a little tool belt, so I think of some things to put in there. So I guess we can do like, I don't know what this is, some sort of weird contraption he's made. And it will go up here. It's sort of like a weird vice thing or something. I'm not sure what it is. Yeah, that'd be fun. And then it's got like a little handle that sticks outside of his little leather bag. I guess it'd be like almost like a pen holder, you know, so he's always got it handy. You know, some of us have a pen in our pocket. Titus has a machine to fix things or make problems, however he's feeling that day. So yeah, upon his triumphant return, he immediately went to a vendor, Titus, and every single day he's been going to this vendor to sample concoctions and help this, I think it's a witch, you know, find out what each potion does. And it's totally for free. You roll a d20 and then you get a random potion. And so he's just come out of jail. You know, we kind of defeated one of the big baddies, and then the first thing he does is take this potion and turned into a turkey. So he's a turkey now for the entire day. So we've left, not Villaki. Is it Villaki? No, that's the continent. Or is that the country? We left the city where we're in, and now we have a giant turkey. So yeah, it's a good start. I want to draw like what's it called, like pliers. So let's see if I can. So I want half the pliers sticking out like that. And the handle coming right out like so. And then we'll do the other handle kind of like that. Again, we don't want it perfect or unison. These are handmade tools for very specific purposes that he's made. So he's just got his tinkerer tools here, and then the little pouch. I think it might be more interesting if we have. Should there be a bottom? Should there be a bottom? Should there be a bottom to this, or should it just kind of? I don't know. Probably right, because he's got TNT there, and if there was no bottom to the bag, it'd fall out. That seems highly impractical. So for practicality reasons, we will put a bottom in the bag. Oh, went over my line then. Don't normally do that, but we'll pretend I didn't and put some shade in. Kind of like when I'm messing up with faces, I put loads of hair. No one will ever know. It's sort of rounding off here. Do a little few squiggly wigglies, and we need something. I think something there taking up room, and then we'll just put some shade in. Doesn't need to have anything physically there. Oh, sorry, I keep kicking something underneath my desk. Hi, how we doing? Yeah. And then we do like a little hole, little textile bag. Got a little hole in it. Maybe a little mouse or something found their way into the bag when he was asleep. There we go. And then little lines. This is meant to be like leather, or I presume it's leather, right? I don't know. There's not really much I can add to that, I think, without either putting too much detail or a bit of shade. We'll do a stitch. If in doubt, stitch it. I tried a little bit of leather work in my day. I really quite enjoy it, but I think it's just one of those things that I don't know. I felt like I needed all the stuff, all the accoutrement, but I found there was just so much to sort of learn and get to grips with that. In the end, I just kind of was like, oh, I'll do it when I have a lot more time, a bit more money in my pocket, then I get all this stuff. And, I keep doing that with leather work. I'm like, oh, no, I can't do it, I haven't got enough time. And I'm like, well, you don't have to do it all in one, take my time and do it. But yeah, sometimes I feel like I have to do it all in one. Apart from this image, this is great because I get to just take my time and really enjoy it. I've really enjoyed drawing this one, and in a strange sense, I'll be sad when this image is done. It's been quite a nice little escape. So yeah, we'll have to sort of think about what we're going to do, on behalf of the, sorry, my hand's really sweaty, the 200 subscribers special, because I want to do something for it. I just don't know what yet. I was thinking we could always, if I can get this scanned in really well, and then have a free image. I'll post it somewhere. If anyone has any ideas where you can sort of post stuff like this, really high quality for, free download with, somewhere nice and secure and safe to download it from, that'd be awesome. Because then we can put it on there and everyone can just help themselves, and, might be nice to colour in. I know a lot of people enjoy just colouring what's already been drawn, which I think is lovely. I wish I had that. Wish I had that like. What should we do here? Doobie. I don't know. Feels a bit all over the place there, but that's fine, isn't it? Okay, so on the chat, we'll do a bit more of the what am I going to call it? His little waistcoat. We'll do a little bit more of his waistcoat. There we go. Right. Whoops. Uh-oh. I've made a mistake. If we went back in time 20 minutes ago, I actually talk about the fact that sometimes I draw so lightly with the pencil, I can't see where I'm going, and sometimes forget things. I have forgotten to draw the barrel for his gun, which would be about there. So, what I'll do is his barrel for his gun is going to finish here now. Look at that. So now it's, instead of a rifle, it's now a pistol. Oh, goodness me. It's very Die Hard, isn't it? Got a little thing on the back of his jacket. I mean, it's not duct tape, but it's got a little thing on the back of his jacket that holds his gun, secretly. Now, it's a very secret one. Even so much that the person drawing it forgot. Very secret. Clearly, I rolled very low on my perception check then. Okay, cool. I'm going to do a little bit of, nice. And we'll do, I think it needs something here, doesn't it? So, I don't know, we'll do like sort of, I pretend to know how to draw dwarven runes, so this is my attempt at drawing dwarven rune. There we go. And then that means put gun here. Please don't fact check. Okay, and then I'm going to draw his big old gun. Well, used to be a big gun. That was a little gun. Sort of kind of fancy in the way it looks as well. It's got this Winchester rifle clicky thing on the back in my head, and yeah, some little metallic bits, sort of a bit more fancy, and I don't really know what this bit is. Maybe like, it's just wear and tear, maybe? I don't really know. Because he's got quite a short, stocky hand. I feel like his hand would fit there quite nicely, but anyone else would probably think it's too big, too small, too thick. Sort of like the flint bit on the back of it. I don't really know how that works. I should have really looked into this better actually before drawing it. Sort of just made it up. Sort of remembered last time I watched Pirates of the Caribbean, and I was like, oh yeah, flintlocks are cool. Should draw one. And then forgot to actually look into like how the mechanism works. But I feel like it's just lots of little doodahs sticking out. The technical term, doodahs. Where his thumb goes, and there we go. I'm going to do some more little... Yeah, I think it's just wear and tear, isn't it? It feels right. I don't know if it's all metal or... I don't know. Not sure if it's metal or wood or what. It's got a nice sort of feel to it. And then think about something to do on the back end. I guess that would be a metal part as well, so we could do, you know, a little shimmer there. And that'd be fine. Nice. So the gun kind of, you know what we could do? We could have it sort of more like a sawn off big old shotgun thing. There we go. Hopefully I remember what I'm doing now. But yeah, there's the gun. Yeah, I'm gonna do a little rest bit there. There we go. You know what? I think I've got away with that. That's not too bad. Could be worse. Nice. No, earlier I just said I won't not ink this bit, outline this bit, but I didn't like leaving it, so I'm going to add anything later to it that really can be a future me problem, not so much me in the here and now. And with that, I'm going to have some coffee. Very nice. Right. How do you have your coffee at home? Sort of a as it comes kind of person, but sometimes I do have a little bit of a preference. You know, sometimes I like a milky. Sorry, I'm going to stop talking about coffee. It's bizarre. So, what has everyone been up to? Anyone played any games lately? Any D&D or any Pathfinder or any other tabletop RPGs you've been enjoying? Or anything really, any games? I played a few hundred hours of Baldur's Gate 3, which was just spectacular. Unfortunately, 95% of that was me restarting and playing the first section of the game again and again, because I can never really tell, well, I can never really know what do I want to play, you know, and I see someone else playing, you know, a monk, and they've, you know, done a weird druid multi-class thing, and I'm like, oh, I can have a go at that, or, you know, I want a really good orc barbarian, or, you know, I like to try everything. Right. I guess this needs to be outlined, right? The cherry's on. That makes sense. So I'll do that. Sorry, that clicking is my chair. The chair being drawn, creaking, as is my chair. Magic. Cool, so this is going quite nice. So if I just drew off the line again then. Oh, dear me. Right, have to to move this a little bit. There we go. Does this arm need to be outlined? No, it should be fine, right? Look at that huge, disgusting black lines really popping through. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Now I need to outline all these fur bits. Hope it doesn't come off too dark in the video. Oh, the final piece, really. I keep forgetting that I will rub out eventually with pencil. Well, I'm not going to rub out with pencil, am I? With a pencil. I'm going to rub out with a rubber. The pencil markings. So all this darker lines probably will fade away a little bit. Actually, see if I'm right. Yeah. Oh. I'm not often that right, but that has filled me with courage that everything will be okay with the drawing now. Move away all the bits. Right, should we roll? Should we roll a 5? Nearly. Right, carry on. A little ear, a few hairs on his ear, and a little bit of hair that we left earlier. Oh yeah, you can see the difference, can't you, of the what's been inked and what hasn't been. Well, what's been rubbed out, ink white, and what hasn't been. Excuse me. Right. What should we do here? Oh, maybe that's another one we could do for a future video for the frogs. Every time I say right, which seems to be a go-to word when I'm thinking, when I'm deep in thought, and I'm sort of making a decision in my head, I always go right, which I think is really silly. Right. Did it again. Let's give this a little rub. See how we're doing. See what we're ending up like. That looks not too bad at all. Nice. Nice. Yeah. So we're getting to the end of this, aren't we? We've got Kevin, we've got Morgana. Move the dice. They're distracting me. I want to roll them. We got Titus, and we're soon to have Shade, and we need to put in 2 magpies. I'm thinking 1 magpie of Morgana's on Shade's head, kind of look what's going on, and then another one over here flying. But that was also going to be a dartboard for Shade shooting bolts. Actually, still not sure. But if you have any suggestions, please let me know. I would like to know them. More markings. There we go. Go away. Right. These are sort of roundy, sort of rough table legs, sort of jutting into the other side. Like so. And they are a little bit wonky. Feels like 2 chairs put together, one kind of straight one, and one very handmade. Mind you, this is a tavern in a fantasy world, so I imagine these chairs get smashed on a nightly basis, don't they? So maybe that's why they're a bit wonky. I'm gonna do sort of like far more wonky table, chair, Good job, man. We'll do, yeah, we'll make it look far more organic this side. Hopefully this will work out and look nice, but I don't know, maybe it will look quite right since it's two different legs. Legs? No, they're not legs, are they? Two different back support thingies? Must be thingies. Yeah. Nailed it. Thingies. Right, there we go. Do that. Trying to show there's a curve. Not very well done, but nonetheless. Connect these little bits. And then the barrel itself. There we go. And carrying on from the lines on the other side of the leather holster. Sort of showing the direction of the barrel. Seems redundant, but I'm sticking to it. Nice. And then the opening of the barrel there. That's really problematic. I can't stop looking at that. Oh, dear me. Don't know. We'll come back to that another time, right? It'll be fine. Right, and then it's going to be a much thinner chair leg on this side. Big divot. And yeah, nice. Cool. 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 Right. That's looking alright. We'll pretend this terrible bit didn't happen. And we'll just make do. Maybe it's because it's soft light in here. It's very soft actually, and the little light that I use to help me see what I'm doing is slightly at an angle. It goes in my eyes ever so slightly, so I think eventually the best thing I can do is change my little setup. But we'll see. Currently this is the best setup I've got, so maybe over the weekend find myself a little bit of free time and figure out a new way to set up. Because God, I don't even know what I was going to say. No doubt something thrilling, useful information and not just absolute rambles. Right, cool. Carry on with the shirt. Not the shirt, the you know, the thingy. The waistcoat. You know. The thingy, the royal thingy. I think that makes sense. Right, and we'll do some more lines here. Do some lines there, sort of, you know, his back fat is kind of pushed up against it. Don't worry, mate. I know how you feel. And the bottom of the waistcoat will have, you know, a little bit of thread, sort of holding it all together. I don't know how that works, but, you know, I think it was just a nice little detail to stick it in, really. There we go. Nice. I don't think it goes anywhere. I think that just it. A little bit of string. I feel like that'd be boring, so let's stick something. Can you still see? Okay. Let's take a little bit of lace down there. And another one here. We'll do that little knot. Cool. Hope that makes sense when I'm drawing there. Okay, and then the bottom of his waistcoat. You know, it's seen better days, but it's not too bad still. I think maybe at some point these adventurers need to, you know, just take it easy for a bit, you know. Don't worry about adventuring so much, just enjoy themselves a bit more. Buy some new clothes or head to the tailor and get them, you know, restitched properly. You know, maybe a good shower. You know, take care of themselves. There we are. That looks alright. Okay, so that won't have any because he's leaning forward, so he's not really interacting. And then we got another arm here of Titus, but I'm not sure about that one. I feel like Shade should have a bit more going on here. So I might not finish that arm until I realise what I want to do. Oh, and for the last video, I noticed that for the first 6 minutes or so, it didn't focus, so apologies. I don't know what I did wrong, but eventually the phone that I used just started focusing again, so maybe I don't think I pressed the focus button, maybe even I just got a bit lucky with the rest. So I'll try and keep that in mind in future. Nice. Okie dokie. You know what? I might leave it there. Only because I'm not sure. Let me move these dice again. I'm not sure in terms of how Shade will be interacting with Titus on this side. But yeah, we've done alright there. I won't fill this in either because I feel like I want to put something on the end of the gun. Maybe like a charm or something, but I haven't quite got there yet, what I want. But yeah, I'm happy with that. Apart from that, that's awful. Look at that. Oh, it's terrible. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today, and I wish you all a lovely day. Enjoy yourselves. All right, you all take care. Thanks for coming. Oh, and thank you so much. Hopefully, by the time I upload this, it will be 200 subscribers, which is amazing. Very excited. So thank you again, everyone, and see you next time. Bye.